Y'all, this video finna be long because I didn't make a video every day um of every episode of Love Island. I actually saved all my thoughts to the end. So it's gonna be a long video. Put it on while you watch. I mean what? Put it on while you do chores or something, put it on in the background. Girl, I don't know. Fuck. Sorry.
Bitch, I'm high.
Hey y'all. So I was gonna make a cute video for y'all. I was gonna do my makeup, dress like I was on Love Island, do my hair, curl my hair up a little bit. But I realized, you know what? No. I was doing my room and I was like, you know what? When something is like irritating me enough to where I feel like I passionately need to talk about it, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it and get this stream of consciousness going. So we're gonna talk about this terrible, terrible season of Love Island. Um, but before I get into that, I'm gonna do my disclaimers. Y'all do know where y'all at. This is my channel. I talk about books, movies, XYZ. I play games. And if at any point you disagree with me, you cannot hold the urge, you don't gotta be here. Okay. I'm not about to go back and forth with nobody in the comments about a damn TV show. Um, I said what I said. So if you disagree, you can you got free will. You can turn the video off, cool down, whatever. I'm well aware that everybody and their mama have been talking about the show every episode as the episode's been coming out. I can't do that. I had to hold all my thoughts and opinions to the very end. So here we are. Um, Also, if the word bitch offends you, I've already said that in my last video. If you see the word bitch as a slur, because I know a lot of y'all see the word bitch as a slur, it's not the video for you. Because I do use the word bitch a lot. I like the word bitch. It's gender neutral. It's fun. I like to sprinkle it around. So if that offends you, you ain't got to be here either. All right. I'm not reading no damn paragraphs in my comments. I'm not arguing back and forth with y'all. I don't give a damn. Okay. If I like somebody you don't like, you like somebody I don't like, this is not the platform for y'all to try to convince me because I said what I said. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. Um, a lot of the content I've been consuming regarding the show has been people who are very nuanced. I'm a big fan of nuance on this platform. So if you are allergic to nuance, this ain't the place for you, babe. Okay, we consider everybody over here. Um, Now just because I consider nuance does not mean that I am unbiased. I never claim to be unbiased. Um, I'm understanding of a lot of behaviors, and to be honest, it's not that I disagree with the people that I don't like on the show. It's that I don't fuck with hypocrisy. So a lot of the topics that I will be addressing in this video have to do with the hypocrisy, and I don't fuck with that shit. So we talking about Hypocrite Island. Oh, and also I don't hate nobody on this season except for Nick and Sierra. So there's people I don't like, but y'all will never make me fuck with them too. I don't care if you a Nick Landry fan, that little ugly gremlin, he will never be liked over here. So yeah, I think that's it. Also, let's get into my credentials. I'm a Love Island watcher. Okay. I've been watching Love Island before there was a Love Island USA. I'm talking about UK. I've seen half of a season of Australia because their voices started to get annoying. I couldn't do it no more. I might get into France soon. I know there's Love Island France. That shit look interesting. And I've seen every season of Love Island USA because I see a lot of people arguing. No, no. When somebody disagree, oh, you must be new. No, babe. I've seen every season. I know what's going on. All right. So we gonna get into it. I don't know how long this video gonna be. So as usual, if I'm yapping, put it on the background. Listen while you work. I'm gonna just be talking about what I'm talking about. Okay. So I just wanted to start off by addressing the masses. because my whole issue with this season, while it does have to do with the Islanders, my main issue has to do with the masses because I've never seen people react this way to anyone. Mind you, I've never heard the name Huda this much ever in my life. Okay. And since Huda is the only person people seem to be talking about this season, a lot of the topic of this conversation will be about Huda and the contrast between behaviors. But as somebody who has seen every season of Love Island USA, handful of UK seasons, I don't understand why everyone is acting like her reaction is so terrible, and y'all would think that this girl killed somebody. Also, before I get too deep into it, I know a lot of people start their videos with, "Oh, I don't agree with everything she did." I do. You're not gonna get that from me. I'm Y'all want to use Huda Defender as a slur. That's not flying over here. I understand her. Okay. I will There are a couple things that I did not agree with that she did. However, I do understand her, and I don't think she was wrong for her reaction or her outburst. Okay. So if that's what you were coming here waiting for me to say, you're not gonna get that. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, um, I've never seen anybody react this way to female rage. Mind you, just yesterday, everybody's like, "Oh, I love female rage. I want female rage, female rage. I love seeing women like whatever." Why are we labeling a woman a crash out? First of all, I hate the word crash out, but why are we labeling a woman a crash out because she had a reaction? And why is she the only woman that we're labeling a crash out? I get that Leah got hate last season, Serena got hate last season, but it was never to this extent. And people supported Leah because she was standing up for herself. People supported Serena because she was standing up for herself. And when this whole thing started, people have started watching the show because of the reactions to Huda being upset at Jeremiah. Let that sink in. People have never heard of the show, never seen the show. I've seen so many people be like, "I ain't never heard of Love Island," and I seen it, and I was like, "That's it." Mind you, what's her name? Moira Higgins, the baddie on the After Sun. Did y'all not watch her season? I know y'all didn't watch her season. Don't answer that. I know y'all didn't see it. She cussed a man out in his face. There have been people to literally like physically get involved, like put hands over there. They was beefing with bombshells, and they got into a fight. There have been women to get in a man's face and yell at him. I just can't, mind you, before the season even started, Love Island All Stars was just airing. I finished Love Island All Stars right before this season. They was cussing each other out. I'm gonna reference that season as well when I get into what I'm about to say, but I didn't see nobody acting like this. Y'all would think this woman killed somebody. She called a man who is a pussy ass bitch a pussy ass bitch from across the villa because he played in her face. And y'all are acting like, "Oh, she's so terrible." The verbal abuse allegations, are y'all fucking stupid? Calling somebody a pussy ass bitch is not verbal abuse. And like I said, I've never seen anybody react this way to a woman having a reaction ever before. And the fact that y'all are trying to villainize a woman for having a reaction, I'm not going for it. Especially when multiple women this season have had similar reactions or done similar things, and they're not met with the same amount of hatred. I'm not understanding from both the Islanders and y'all. It's not making sense. It will never make sense. It will never add up. So, and my whole thing is, why is everybody virtue signaling? Y'all are online talking like it's never okay to speak to somebody like that. It's never okay to call somebody a bitch. And da 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 da. But then you're posting videos of Ariana Madix telling her ex husband that he needs to die and calling him everything under the sun. Talking about, see, this is valid. No, no, no. We're not doing that, because if you're gonna sit here and say it's never okay, then it's never okay for nobody to do that. Y'all want to bring Serena into it, talking about, well, Serena was valid because it was cost. No, she's not. Because if you're saying that nobody should ever speak to anybody like that, then everybody needs to be labeled a verbal abuser. Alandria needs to be labeled a verbal abuser because she called Taylor a bitch. And if it's not about the word bitch, then it's about the yelling. Then Amaya should be called a verbal abuser because she yelled at Ace. She yelled at Shelly. Y'all move the goalpost for who y'all want to move it for. If it's never okay, then it's never okay for anybody. There's no, oh, it's okay, but no. Because I see it as she didn't do nothing wrong. Like I said, I watched Love Island, and every single time a woman has crashed out or gotten upset, it was because a man was playing in her face. When Serena cussed Cordell out for 30 minutes last season, and she called him a bitch and everything else under the sun, it was because he played in her face. Or Landria calling Taylor a bitch because she felt like he played in her face. Huda calling Jeremiah a bitch, he played in her face. And then y'all want to diagnose people with all these. First of all, we got people with actual PhDs, actual psychologists, getting on the internet and telling y'all she's not mentally unstable, she's not bipolar, she's not splitting, she's not a narcissist, and she's not an abuser. So why are we still having this argument, this conversation? She's manipulating. No, she's not. Like, I understand that everything is perception, but we're all watching the same show, and I don't know what the fuck y'all are watching. We got psychologists with degrees getting on TikTok, breaking down from episode one all the way up until that man left, breaking down his behavior, what caused her to be love bombed, what caused her reactions, how he set the tone for the relationship, the language he used, him choosing not to kiss anybody else, him bringing up what was it? It was something about him bringing up them being closed off, him setting the tone of exclusivity, um his defensive nature when she would ask for clarity. It was never that she's immature or couldn't communicate. That was never it. Because every single time we've seen her interacting with a man, she's clearly stating, this is what I'm struggling with, this is the issue that I'm having. I would like clarity. How are you feeling? Every time she asked Jeremiah something, it was, what the fuck? He immediately got defensive. And it didn't make sense because I'll get into her and Chris later, but the language used when you're bringing up an issue is very imperative to the conversation. So, in the beginning, we'll get to Chris later, but basically, she's telling Jeremiah, like, hey, first of all, weaponize incompetence, because we know this dumbass know how to make a pancake. Because right after he gives her an uncooked pancake, she's like, "Hey, it was uncooked." Taylor offered. First of all, Taylor offered to help, and like, I wish I could go back and put all the scenes in there, but somebody else already did it. Like I said, everything I'm saying, I'm trying. I don't want to parrot what other people are saying just because I agree with them, but they already made the points that I find valid. So when it came to the Taylor situation and the pancake, she told him, "Hey, like it was undercooked." And then when he gets to Iris and Andrina, he know how to make a whole plate of food. with flowers and shit on it. So he knows what he's doing. And other people have broke down and dissected his behavior based on the edited content that we've seen, the edited scenes that we've seen, how his behavior switches after she told him that she had a child. Y'all got mad at her not telling him within the first 3 days. Mind you, they've only known each other for 3 days. That she had a child. She waited till day 3 to tell him that she had a child. Y'all act like she waited 3 months. Y'all act like she waited until they got married. No, it was 3 days. Three of them. Y'all had a problem with her before they had a problem. They were doing good. He was getting mad at her because he thought she kissed somebody in that challenge. That girl didn't stand up once. You got Ace in his ear, negging him, and she's like, "Hey, how are you feeling? I need some clarity. Are you okay with this relationship?" Like he brought up being closed off and not wanting to explore nobody else. He set that tone, and she's like, "Okay." And then when she's like, "Hey, how are you feeling?" That whole conversation when they were sitting up there was fucking weird because this was after she told him that she had a child. She goes, "So are you saying you want me to like?" He's like, "I'm okay with you right now, right?" And she's like, "Okay, well, does that mean like what do you mean right now? Like, does that mean I can explore other people?" He goes, "What the fuck? Where are you getting that from?" And then he's like, "I did blah 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 today," and she's like, "Oh yeah, you did good. Stop talking to me like I'm a child." I genuinely like I was so confused because how is giving your partner like kudos for what they did talking to you like you're a child? Because literally we see Sierra tell Nick good job. We see Taylor when Alandria did his their little date. Oh, like you did good. Like we see all of them say similar things. So why the fuck are you taking that as her talking to you like it doesn't make sense. Like when I do something for my man, he's like, "Oh, that was good. Like you did good. Good job." I don't get it. It will never make sense. And you know what it is because she has a child and he wasn't okay with it, and he's too pussy to be like, "Yeah, I don't. I'm not fucking with it." So you're gonna start treating her weird. Also, somebody else pointed out. Well, I already noticed this too. He would constantly twist her words. When the whole blowout happened with Iris, we're gonna talk about the bombshell situation too. When the whole thing happened with Iris, and she's crying that when y'all voted, mind y'all voted for her to crash out. When that happened, and they finally talked the next day, she goes, "Any man in here would have checked on their girl." Mind you, the boys already told her. I mean, already told him, "You should have went to go check on her. Like that was fucked up." He goes, "So you're saying I'm not a man?" One, I'm not gonna diagnose nobody. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But I've noticed several times when he's interacting with her, he uses Darbo. I'm not saying he's a narcissist. I'm not saying he's an abuser. I'm just saying he's using those same techniques. And he's reversing it onto her as if she's accusing him of something. She just said, if all your friends had the same problem, they would have went to check on their girl. Nothing out of her mouth said, you are not a man. So you're just trying to find an argument to nitpick her and to get her to become upset. And I feel like honestly the root of all of her anger and frustration this whole season was her being misunderstood intentionally. Every single situation was the cause of her being misunderstood intentionally. She would clearly communicate, "This is what I need from you." Mind you, after this conversation when he goes, "So you're saying I'm not a man?" And she's like, "What the fuck? Like I just nigga, you see me crying. come talk to me. Especially after you told me I'm not interested in getting to know this girl. I'm only interested in you. You see me upset. Why wouldn't you come check on me? That's weird. So after that, after they have this blowout, he sprays the cologne on the bed. That's manipulative as fuck. She's not, at this point, she's not weaponizing her tears. Because, first of all, a woman crying does not mean they're weaponizing their tears. Nothing she did was to control the situation. Everything she was doing was to express herself to the person that she was interested in. So her telling you that fucking hurt, I felt like I was alone. You taking it, oh, you're saying I'm not a man. Sprays a cologne in the bed while you with a new girl. You trying to, she's over there working out. You trying to make little small talk after we just had a fight and we're not cool. That's weird as fuck. Then we finally, he goes, hey, can we chat? They have a conversation. And she goes, okay, well, in order for me to feel secure with this is what I need. And he basically says he's not willing to do that. So why the fuck are you trying to talk to me? And that's what she said. She said, so why the fuck are you in my face? She's not wrong. Like, you want me to be stuck on you so bad, but you're not willing to do what I need you to do. I'm the same way. If my man is doing something I don't like and I'm like, hey, it hurts my feelings when you do XYZ, can you please work on that? And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So what are we doing? You know, like, if you like me and I'm communicating to you my needs and wants and I'm trying to work this out, anyway. But Lord, let them tell it Jeremiah's a victim. Even though this woman clearly told him multiple times calmly, when she expressed herself calmly, he still gets defensive. That was the problem. And so then the girls are telling her, you know, she was wrong and da 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 da. Fine. If y'all wouldn't express yourselves like that, that's fine. But last season, we gonna reference season 6 a little bit because Serena has a strong personality. Janae has a strong personality. Leah has a strong personality. Regardless of the issues they had with each other, they were actually supportive and they never like made each other feel like they were wrong for standing up for themselves. When Leah had an issue with Rob, that was early days too. So I don't get how people are trying to say, oh, it's different. It's not different. Every, like, literally, I have not seen a single season of Love Island where the root of the woman's frustration is not that man playing in her face. So, granted, she moves on, right? Let's get into the Iris situation. Y'all are not, first of all, no, not a single person on this season is a girl's girl by y'all's definition. Not a single girl. Because y'all wanted to say Huda wasn't a girl's girl for getting mad at the bombshells. Oh, also, y'all wanted to say she terrorized every bombshell that came in there. First of all, interesting choice of words. Terrorized for a Palestinian woman. Y'all are on the internet already calling her a terrorist, saying that y'all hope her and her daughter get bombed. Very, very interesting choice of words. We're not gonna get into the whole hood rat situation because y'all weirdos want to swear up and down that it's not a slur. Mind you, Palestinian people have already sat here and told y'all what instances and what the history is behind calling them rats. So y'all putting her name next to the word rats and they telling you that's offensive. You say, oh no, hood rat is AAV. First of all, people use hood rat as a microaggression against black people too. So racism isn't okay either way. But I digress. Back into it. In real life, there is no scenario where I'm gonna be kiki kaka, oh my god, hey sister, I love you, with a girl who's interested in a man that I'm interested in. If I have to watch you sleep in a bed with my man, kiss up on my man, I don't care if I just met him. If we're talking, we've been in. They were intimate. Huda and Jeremiah were intimate. Y'all don't get to give Sierra and Nick a pass and say, oh, and when Ace is sitting up there saying, oh, intimacy is different. Like once y'all do that, the connection is different. But then tell her she's wrong for how she acted with Jeremiah so fast. Nick and Sierra fucked real soon, quickly after they knew each other. Iris fucked somebody a couple days into being with them. So why is it different for anyway? Another hypocrisy moment. So I sleep with this man. I'm making out with him. We doing everything. He's basically telling me he only want to be with me. We going anyway. And so a girl comes in, intentionally chooses to make out with my man. First of all, we're gonna get into Shelly ass later, but she's talking about some you got mad at the bombshells who have nothing who know nothing about your connection. That's a bold faced lie. If you don't know how Love Island works, the bombshells, the Casa people, they watch everything prior to them coming in. They've seen every episode. So they know your connections. And we know this because before Iris came up in there, I'm not falling for her white woman tears either. She goes, I'm going for Jeremiah. There's cracks in their relationship, and I'm going to slip through them. So when America voted you, because you already made it known to us that you're messy as fuck. I didn't vote for her, but like I said, you made it known that you were messy as fuck. You don't get to sit here and cry because Hood is upset and you're uncomfortable. You knew they were the closest couple in here. Everybody knows that they're the closest couple in here. You don't get to say, oh, I was just thrown into it. Bullshit. You was messy before you got here. Every conversation you had with him is about her. Y'all have no connection beyond talking about her. None at all. Also, Iris is pussy. Y'all not about to say, oh, Iris is so sweet. She don't do nothing to nobody. Iris talks shit the whole time. But she waits till Hood is across the villa or walks out the room to talk shit. She's so pussy that when he chose her willingly, if you didn't want her to interrupt the conversation, you could have said no. But she politely asked you, hey, can I talk to him? She wanted to have her closure conversation. Who didn't want to have her closure conversation? You immediately ran your. All right, y'all, my mic died. She immediately ran her ass upstairs to go talk shit to Amaya. So, oh my gosh, she interrupted the conversation. You could have said no. You literally could have said no. We're gonna finish this conversation. It's not legally binding if somebody says, "Hey, can I pull you for a chat?" That person has to go. There's been several instances where people are like, you know what? No, we're gonna finish our conversation first. So I'm not going for no. Iris is innocent. No, she sat there and talked shit after Huda apologized to her. After they want to kumbaya. So I'm not. Fuck no. I don't care that they made up afterwards. She's weird. Okay. And Amaya gossiping and gossiping in that moment was weird too. Because this was way after her and Amaya made up. This was after Bill Dasher already came out and said, yeah, Huda and Amaya had a long conversation and Huda told her everything and she apologized multiple times and they're good. Amaya comforted Huda during that time. Huda comforted Amaya during her shit. And I don't know why they were acting like her having a closure conversation was such a bad, terrible thing. Y'all have to live in the same villa together. So if I'm beefing with you and I just yell at you, I'm gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna have a closing conversation with you to let you know how I feel, apologize, and move on. I don't understand why they was thinking that was a. I say all this to say, previous seasons, everything it is Friendship Island. If y'all haven't noticed that by now, you never watched the show before, but it's very much Friendship Island. Your friendships in there control your experience, whether you get to stay or not. Last season, when Janae got put up there, the girls, Serena and them immediately said Janae's not going home. And so I think Huda's issue is that she didn't have real friends in that villa. Because when Serena was crashing out and crying, when Janae was crashing out and crying, when Leah was crashing out and crying, they had each other. They would pull each other to the side. They would get clarity on the situation. Anybody with a brain would understand that, yes, they need to have a closure conversation. It's not, oh, she's running back to him after this whole back and forth toxic situation. That was never the case, and they never gave that. A mature person would go talk to them after a heated situation like that. Also, she didn't do anything wrong when they asked her, why did you leave the door open? And she talked about what he said about Iris. He did say that. Also confirming that he is a pussy ass bitch. You sat there and told her, I'm not attracted to Iris at all. It's just a friendship. Da 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 da. I'm attracted to you, blah, 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 blah. But he's still not willing to do what she needs to do. You did sit here and talk shit about this girl. Now you want to be coupled up with her. You're weird. Both of them are weird, actually, because not only did you intentionally break up this couple when you and Ace had such great conversation, you could have coupled up with Ace given the situation. But then the next day, y'all hear me? The next day, both of them kissed the new bombshells, and then they want to go, oh, I have something to tell you. I kissed a new bombshell. And he goes, oh my God, I kissed a new bombshell too. I think this is more of a friendship. Yeah, I think this is more of a friendship too. Y'all put this girl through emotional turmoil just for y'all to break up the next day and fuck with new people. That's weird as fuck. Mind you, Jeremiah over here telling Huda, you're my whole heart. And if you didn't like her and you were looking for a way out with her, you could have just said that. But if you were still interested in her, why were you moving weird and lying to her? Mind you, Iris lied to him. That's another reason why I didn't fuck with her. Because Huda never told you, oh, we're closed off. She never said that. She said, we're close to being closed off. We're not closed off. We're close to being closed off, and what we have is really strong. Her dumb ass gonna run to Jeremiah and be like, yeah, Huda said you were closed off, but I wanted to see what you had to say. They'll never make me like pouty lips. And I don't understand why y'all want to try to like her all of a sudden. Because when she first came out, y'all was saying she looked old as fuck. I said the same thing. She do look old as fuck. She like somebody mama, and her lips is giving reverse Sierra. So her and Sierra act the same, just different fonts. I ain't going for her. Iris, I don't hate you, but I don't like you either. She shouldn't have lasted that long. No, girl. If you like TJ so bad, you was crying and snotting and sliding down the wall over TJ, you should have went home with him. But you didn't do that. You went to go. You went to go fuck Pepe. Hannah part 2. Because Miss Hannah, you had a meltdown because Huda had a conversation. You want to say Huda not a girl's girl because you had a conversation. We're gonna get into that in a second. But you was not over Charlie. And then you went to go fuck Pepe. Anyways, moving on. Remember when I said nobody on the season's a girl's girl? Nobody on the season's a girl's girl because they all did the same shit. Huda had a conversation with Pepe. She didn't tell Hannah beforehand, hey, I'm going to have a conversation with Pepe. Hannah had a meltdown. She cried. She slid down the wall. Mind you, before this happened, Hannah want to go around the villa talking shit about Huda. Fake ass bitch, number one. I didn't even get on Shelly and Taylor and all of them. Duck Lips and Nick sitting over there talking shit about Huda before that. We'll get into that too. If Huda's not a girl's girl for having a conversation with Pepe, Amaya's not a girl's girl either. Because she made out with Austin, didn't tell Shelly, got mad at Shelly for not telling her about her connection with Ace, then coupled up with Austin, didn't tell Shelly she was coupling up with Austin. But ain't nobody say she wasn't a girl's girl. I love Amaya. I'm so glad she won. But if Amaya is a girl's girl, y'all keep saying Amaya's the only girl's girl. What she did was worse. Anyway, I already addressed the whole bombshell thing, right? Right, I think I did. Yeah. No logic. Like y'all are so performative with the fact that if somebody is interested in y'all, man, or somebody y'all like, y'all are not gonna be like, "Hey, girlfriend, I love you." She called him a bitch. So what? Also, y'all act like she got in her face and was like, "You're a bitch," and da da da. No, she playfully called Iris a bitch when she made out with Jeremiah. She said, "Bitch, get away from him. That's enough." She said that to her face. I'm not gonna like nobody going after my nigga either. It's like that every season. I don't understand what y'all are not understanding. It's literally like that every season. Last season, Serena said, "I don't like none of them hoes." About the Casa girls. She didn't know them either. So y'all talking about some, oh, it's even worse because she said that about some girls she don't know. Last season, Janae and all of them didn't like the Casa girls and they didn't know them either. Mind you, Leah didn't even have a connection with Miguel like that when she didn't like what do y'all be talking about? Like literally what do y'all be talking about? Like all of this is fucking hypocritical. Anyway, moving on. She ends up apologizing to them girls. They're friends. We see her and Iris holding hands around the villa, hugging and holding on each other. They got pictures together, duck lips in all over social media that they took in the villa. So y'all need to let it go. Y'all, we gonna get into the whole accountability where y'all don't know what the fuck accountability means. Y'all want public shame and permanent labels. That's not how life works. Accountability means taking responsibility for actions. She took responsibility for calling them out of their names. She apologized to them. They are friends. So there's no justification or comparison to the fact that she became friends with these girls, yet the other girls talked about her for the entire season behind her back. She's never, first of all, if I may, I would go as far as to say Huda and Amaya are the only girls this season because regardless of them not talking to somebody once before talking to their partner, let's throw that out the window because y'all still want to say Amaya's a girl's girl. Okay, fine. Both of these women, oh, also, not liking somebody that you don't know whose intention is to break up your couple on a show where the whole purpose is for you to be in a couple does not make somebody not a girl's girl. Also, like I said multiple times, even before Love Island, being a girl's girl is not a real thing. That's not a thing. Okay, I'm not gonna like you or fuck with you or agree with you simply because we share genitalia. That's not realistic. If I meet you and I don't like your energy or I don't like something that you did, I don't like you. I'm not gonna be mean to you and da da da. But that doesn't make somebody not a girl's girl. Cause breaking up somebody's couple is not being a girl's girl. But that's their job, right? So you can't get mad at somebody for having a very human and realistic reaction to somebody who has accelerated the pace of their relationship more than everybody else. She sat up there and talked to them people and they said, oh yeah, they're married in the villa. Anyway, Huda has never sat behind any of those girls' backs and talked about them. The girls that she considered to be her friends, Sierra, Alandria, what's that girl name? Shelly. When they became friends, all the Hannah, like all of them, she never sat and talked about them behind their backs. But every single last one of them, including Amaya, has gossiped about her behind her back once they became friends. When they ganged up on her at the letter challenge, Iris didn't say shit any other time until Shelly was yelling at her. Why are you chiming in? You ain't said shit this whole time. You ain't had shit to say this whole time. Why are you chiming in now? To dogpile this girl. So I'll go as far as to say Huda's only friend in that villa was probably Brian and Amaya. Because Brian is the only man in that villa I like. Because out of everybody, he's so far. Because also I changed my opinion on certain people because of their exit interviews and how they acted in these interviews afterwards. Brian has been the only, from what I've seen, he's been the only one who has extended the same amount of grace as Amaya. Because when the whole Chris thing was going on, he sat and told Chris, like, he kind of like helped her under, like, him and Amaya are very meant to be because Amaya can look at things from both sides and give, objective advice, being like, I understand what you're saying. This is how he's feeling. Maybe communicate it this way. And Brian did that a lot with Chris. He's like, I would keep trying because XYZ. This is this and this is this. And that's a real man. That's mature. And he spoke up for Amaya when everybody was dogpiling her because he understood her. That's a real man. And so I feel like his ability to observe and understand is very respectable. And that's why I'm so glad that they won. And I'm so glad that they're together because they're two of the same kind of people. And I love that for them. But she's not like the reason that I think she's a girl's girl, her and Amaya are girls because she's never sat and talked about nobody she considers to be her friend. And the reason I'm harsh about that is because I'm very strict when it comes to friendships. I'm not the type of person that holds my relationship to a different standard than I hold my friends. I treat them about the same. I am all about loyalty. So if it comes to my friend, if they do something wrong, what did Janae said something in a recent interview, and she also said it on the show. I remember her and Leah and Serena got into it during the challenge or something, and Janae kind of like got them together real quick. It was like, we'll talk about this later. Like, we're not PPG, we don't fight. Like, we don't do that. And she said in an interview recently, she was like, yeah, like I would never put my girls out on blast out in public like that. Like, if we have an issue, we're gonna handle it behind closed doors. And that is the issue that I'm having with this season, is because y'all have all these fucking issues with Huda and her behavior, but you want to sit there and talk shit about her instead of pulling her to the side and talking to her. And when you talk to her, it's a different, like, you got different energy. Shelly was mad about that challenge. We'll get into that. But you can sit here and talk shit for a whole 24 hours and then Alandra expecting her to tell you about a kiss with a nigga that she's partnered with, but you're not talking to her. So how the fuck she gonna tell you? Also, why wouldn't you talk to her sooner? Mind you, it's not even that fucking deep. So why wouldn't you just pull your girl to the side and talk to her? Because that girl is not your friend. Andrina weird ass. We're not gonna talk about her. She gets no energy because she's weird as fuck on and offline. So, girl, anyway, you're boring as fuck. That's why you got rejected twice. You taking her man, you ain't got no man. No man is taking you, honey. So nobody like PPG, and it's not just PPG. Like, we've had so many seasons where there's been strong female friendships. We got Sally and Justine, Zeta and Courtney. We got the first season, Kyra and all them girls. Like, that shit was so, like, this season was awful because of the Islanders and their treatment of Huda, but also because of the internet and their treatment of Huda. Y'all are all punishing her after she's already took accountability. Mind you, y'all don't know what the word accountability means. Accountability does not mean labeling somebody permanently and shaming them permanently and bashing them permanently. She apologized. She changed her behavior. She became friends with the girls that she talked bad about. She apologized to the man that she called a bitch, even though she shouldn't apologize because she told the truth. But she's moved different. Everybody's talking about, oh, how she's grown and changed and da 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 da. But y'all, she's 24 years old. You bitches are almost 30. and you can't pull somebody to the side and have a conversation about what you're upset about. Hmm. Also, why is a Landria not a crash out? Why is, as soon as that whole situation happened and she called that man a bitch, y'all sat in a circle and said, "Oh, girl, I'm so proud of you. You handled yourself well." And this is why when people want to make this argument, oh, because it's a black woman, it's not about race. First of all, Landry was wrong for calling Taylor a bitch only because she chastised Huda about it prior. You don't get to say you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to handle yourself better and then go do what she did. That's why you're wrong. Because if you would have just said, you know what, I understand, then it would make sense. But no, you're a hypocrite. Also, you're older than she is. Also, she's performative as hell because you don't get to sit here and be on the show and be like, oh yeah, I have to be strong. I ain't gonna cry. Like, I'm so strong. And da da da. But you crashing out over a man picking somebody else. Mind you, I don't like Taylor either. Not because of the Alandria situation, but because of how he treated Huda on and off the show. But he didn't do anything wrong when it came to Alandria, besides the fact that maybe he could have been a little more vocal about what side he was leaning on. But his actions were pretty consistent with what he told her. I don't think he pretended to like her. He liked her. They explored, but then he met somebody that he liked more, who fit him more. Y'all want to get on Huda for talking to somebody like dating child, but when Alandria did it, oh yes, girl. If Huda's wrong, she's also wrong because Taylor said herself that he felt like she was talking, she treated him like a child sometimes. You want to try to sun him and talk about he's young and da 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 da. You're crying over this young man. He told you, I want to explore you and Clark. He explored you and Clark. He just happened to like Clark more and pick Clark. If that meant you getting eliminated, you're lucky your friend saved you. But like he said, he's moving for him based on what his feelings said after the fact. The heart rate challenge happened. He's not pulling you for chats. He didn't kiss you. You kissed him in the challenge. He communicated with you after the challenge. Hey, I didn't kiss you because I'm respecting Clark. I'm not pulling you for chats because XYZ. Why are you still confused or thinking that there's hope with him when he made it very clear? His actions and his words, he's only talking to Clark. He's making out with Clark out in the open. What are you confused about? So I'm not gonna lie, he ate that with, since you're confused, I'm gonna tell you who I picked, Clark. He ate with that because maybe he should have told you directly, listen, I'm only focusing on Clark. But prior to that whole envelope challenge, he was very honest with her. It's not like the things that he was doing with Clark were different than the things that he was doing with you. Y'all kissed, y'all had little dates around the villa. He just met this girl and she's not a slow burner. So they're kissing a lot more. Like, I feel like if y'all thought like, oh, he's pretending to like her, he didn't really like her, then he wouldn't have been doing half the shit that he did with her. But he's doing the same things with Clark. He just likes Clark more. And that's fine. I just think she's wrong for calling him a bitch when you sat here and made this girl feel like she public enemy number one, two, three, and four for doing the same thing. And then you want to sit there and smile about it. Also, don't fuck with Alandria because not only was she talking shit behind her back, you lied to her face. You lied to her face and you said when she told you, I was upset that you told my business during the challenge, and you sat there in her face and said, I promise you I've never told your business um outside of that one instance and da da da, I always have your back. You told Austin that she had a child and then laughed about it, talking about some oops. You're almost 30 and you're lying and doing weird shit. That's weird. And every other season, I've never seen women act like this. I've seen people do what Huda did. Worse. Like I said, worse. Her calling a man a pussy ass bitch is 1/3 of the crazy shit that people have done on this show. So you're not gonna sit here and, oh, I don't agree with Huda did, because y'all are not doing that for nobody else. I just came off of Love Island All Stars. Ek and Sue and Elma was arguing damn near every day, cussing each other out. But the difference between them, both of them was unlikable. But they were real about it. They was not about to sit here and pretend to be each other's friend. They didn't fuck with each other. And they were open about not fucking with each other. They would have their arguments. Elma would cuss out the man or whoever she would cuss out. And that would be that. She stood on how she felt. And there were times where I agreed with Elma. I never agree with Ekin Su. Like, I don't fuck with Ekin Su at all. I think she's weird. But like every other season, the girls have been, if y'all don't fuck with each other, they don't fuck with each other and they just don't talk. But y'all are trying to push, and don't try to sit here and say, oh, Hood is the one that pushed this sisterhood. No, she didn't, because there's somebody traced all the way back to Belle Dasher. Belle Dasher is the one who started the sisterhood shit. Hood is just a nice person and is trying to have friends, so she's attached to all these people who don't like her. Nick. Oh, I'm gonna be an uncle to your kid. Oh, like, I care about you. But then gonna sit in front of everybody and try to put her down over something she had no control over. I feel like Hannah, you're wasting your spot in here, and it should have been Hannah. This ugly gremlin mother. America voted for Huda. So what the fuck does that got to do with Huda? If you wanted Hannah here so bad, America should have voted for her, but they didn't. Also, y'all sent her home. Notice how when Pepe pressed them about it, like, oh, he didn't call Huda's name because he knew that Huda didn't vote for her. Why are we blaming one person for shit that's beyond her control? I've been vocal. I wanted to Ben send you home or whatever. First of all, I was beyond pissed when they brought him and Alandria back. I was. I wanted that gremlin off my screen from the beginning. I could not stand Nick. I can never stand Nick. I think he's so fake and so nasty. He is the villain that y'all think Ace is. I don't like Ace's actions per se, but nothing Ace has done has been as bad as the things Nick has done. Period. I will not elaborate. The things Nick has done, way more sense. I don't like the way Ace treated Amaya. I think his anger and his rage is misplaced. But I will give the man credit. He very much demonstrated what it's like for a man to actually like a woman. And he's been the only person to really do that, aside from Brian. Anyways, not going for it. Everybody on this season is fucking weird, except for Hood and Amaya. Not going for it. The whole Shelly thing, listen, you don't get to say girl code sisterhood principle when your man has literally kissed every single person during the challenge. You just put your barely clothed coochie in Chris's face, and Hood is clapping for you. Y'all want to say male centered, male centered. Hood is male centered. Nothing she's done on this season has proven that she's male centered. She's coupled up with one guy, had a strong connection, he gets sent home. She doesn't explore until, mind you, Jeremiah left the day before Casamore. Casamore comes, she's exploring Mr. Dominant. Okay, that don't work out. She has a conversation with Shelly about Chris. Hey, I like Chris. I understand that you guys have a connection. Shelly says, "Oh my God, girl, go for it. I love that for you. I hug you. Hug, 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 hug. I love you." She has one conversation with Pepe, doesn't go anywhere, right? Her very next connection is Chris and Casa. She only focuses on Chris. Mind you, I don't think it's fair to call anybody male centered on a dating show where the whole point is for you to get to know different men. But the only male centered behavior I've truly seen this season was two love triangles. I'm not mad at my man who kissed every girl. In fact, I'm more mad at my girlfriend. I don't want to close off, even though I chose this man over the other man. And you're selfish for getting to know this man that I also like, even though I chose another man over him and I don't want to. I don't know. That's giving male centered to me. That's more male centered than anything Huda has done. Mind you, every girl during that challenge has kissed damn near everybody. And the people that they didn't kiss, they just didn't kiss them. Everybody's pulling couples up together. Chris likes you. So if they're pulling couples up, Huda's going to pull Ace. Ace just tongue down everybody, though. So why does girlhood, sisterhood only apply to her? Mind you, you said during your argument where you were talking shit, she would have been XYZ if Jeremiah was here. First of all, Jeremiah's not here. Second of all, if Jeremiah was here, he would be with Andrina if she picked him. So that argument is null and void. Your next argument is she she told us she didn't care if we kissed him during challenges, but then praised us when we didn't. That's like saying if the challenge is for you to slap me and I say, you know what, guys, I really don't want you to slap me, but I give you a pass to slap me if you want to slap me. And then you don't slap me and I say, you know what, girl, thank you for not slapping me. How is that on her? You chose to not slap me. Everybody knows that they don't like to see their partner kiss somebody else, but you told her it's just a challenge and she gave you a pass. So therefore your argument is null and void. Alandria kissed Jeremiah and she did not get mad at Alandria. In fact, the only person that really pressed Alandria about kissing was Sierra. She said, "Oh, speaking of kissing everybody, man," and gonna look at Alandria crazy. And Huda was like, "Yeah, I was just surprised that you kissed him." Huda never crashed out on Alandria. All she did was go up to Jeremiah and be like, "Hey, I just didn't like to see that. I didn't think you were actually gonna kiss her." Because mind you, that challenge, kissing was not mandatory. Sierra was in there with Taylor. She didn't make out with Taylor. She made noises. So it was not mandatory that anybody had to kiss anybody. They chose to kiss. Alandria chose to kiss her friend's man. Just like she chose to couple up with Nick. But that's her best friend. Oh, like, come on now. You know that that's not a thing that you want to see. So she gave you a pass. She said, y'all can kiss my man in the challenge. She ain't got no man. So that standard is out the window. Also, when y'all was spitting milk into a bucket and pouring it on her, and she said, "Hey guys, this hurt my feelings," you said it was just a challenge. So her twerking on this man that you refused to go exclusive with, that's not the same thing. It's just a challenge. Your man just tongued down everybody. So why are you only mad that she tongued down your man and not your friends that did the same thing? If it's girl code sisterhood, da da da, and she's disrespectful, then everybody's disrespectful. And people trying to say, "Oh, well, everybody says she did too much." Chris said she didn't do too much. I think it was Brian too. Ooh, Huda said herself that she felt she did too much. Huda's a people pleaser. If you're around a bunch of people, mind you, everybody's already said, "Oh, she always does the most for challenges. She always puts on her big one. She always does great on challenges." The heart rate challenge, where the point is to raise heart rates, right? She did the exact same thing everybody else did. The whole, "oh, she sat on his face" thing was debunked already. If she sat on his face, they would have showed it because last season they showed Janae twerking on Kenny face. And also, if she sat on his face, Shelly would have been talking about it because she loves to complain. The only thing she complained about, the only thing TJ himself, somebody asked him directly, did she sit on his face? Did she do all that? He said no. She didn't twerk on his face. All we seen was her turn around in his lap and reverse cowgirl. But also, the only thing that TJ and what's her name, Shelly, have in common with their complaints about her in that challenge was that they kissed for a while, for longer than Shelly and Chris kissed. So you're mad because she kissed him longer. Okay, fine. But also, Ace then kissed everybody. Why are you not mad that your man was grabbing that ass? You told him, I'm not mad at you about this. I'm mad at Huda. But then when he said, well, I'm mad that you went back for seconds with Chris, and then she wanted to change it, well, I am mad at you because you kissed all the girls. But you weren't mad before. That's male centered. You're blaming the woman, not your man. He could have stopped the kiss. It's a challenge. Huda went around looking for, because she didn't feel like she did anything wrong until she seen everybody saying what they said. She went to go ask everybody, do you think I did too much? Do you think I did? Chris is the only objective person in this situation because at the time they didn't have a deep connection yet. I think it was, I really don't remember who the other dude they were sitting with was. But she goes, did I take it too far? Like, did I do too much? And he said no. So what are we really talking about? Of course, it's gonna seem like too much to a bunch of people that don't like you. Why are you more concerned about how they feel about this? She's a people pleaser, and the reason I feel like she's such a good person, even though I personally wouldn't, is because she cares more about how her actions affect other people than how she feels about the situation. Me personally, I would have never apologized because I'm always put in situations since a child where other people will have special rules when it comes to me. And even if I know I didn't do anything wrong, I'm not going to sit here and apologize because I hurt your feelings. You're choosing to be upset and you're choosing to have a problem with me versus other people who did the exact same thing that I did. You want to make it seem like, oh, what I did was a million times worse when everybody did the exact same thing. Amaya twerked on that man too. But, you know, so when it comes to Huda, if somebody says, hey, this is what you did and it hurt my feelings, she's going to go, she's not going to argue with you and tell you, you know what, I was wrong. I mean, you're wrong. She's going to be like, you know what, I was wrong and I'm sorry and I will never do it again. I would not do that. I would not do that. If I don't feel like I'm wrong, and mind you, Shelly didn't take any type of accountability herself. It was just all on Huda, and the situation was resolved because Huda apologized. She's always apologizing to people who hurt her and who have a special rule, special vendetta against her, and that's the one criticism I have for her. You need better discernment when it comes to friends because these people are not your friends. None of their actions have proved that they're your friend. They've constantly shown you time and time again that they don't fuck with you. I don't care. Oh, they're cool now. They're weird as fuck. They don't treat each other like that. They only treat you like that. And that's what I wish people would understand. They're only treating her like that, not each other. That's the problem I'm having with this season. I don't really got much to say when it comes to Iris and Pepe. They're both boring as hell. They shouldn't be on. Anyway, boring. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have more to say when the reunion comes out. But the last thing I'm gonna touch on is Chris. I liked Chris in the beginning, but I'm not falling for, oh, he's such a good guy. She's the problem. She's the problem. No. And it's not because I refuse to see her wrongs. It's because even men themselves, I've seen more videos of men talking about how they don't trust Chris and how his actions are problematic than women. And these are the same men who intentionally chose to understand Huda in her communication when it came to Jeremiah. So I see women trying to say, "Oh, she's a manipulator." What is she manipulate? Like, we see her taking accountability, changing her behavior, trying to move slow, trying to do better. What is she manipulating? She let the nigga go. We're gonna get into it. This is the last segment, okay? I promise. It's the last segment. So she tells Shelly, I want to get to know this man too. He says, I'm gonna get to know both of y'all. She said, no pressure. We not tied down, we not married. Go explore her. They get to know each other. She feels like, hey, you're putting more effort into her than you are putting into me. She's not wrong for that. If you exploring us both, don't make me feel, even if you like her more, don't make me feel like I'm less than. Cool. The way she communicated that was very mature. I noticed da da da. This is how it made me feel. Please remember this, because this is a pattern when it comes to her. This is what happened. This is how it made me feel. That is how you communicate effectively. That is good communication. Okay. In the beginning, I felt like Chris was a good communicator because he is calm, he is understanding, he is gentle in the beginning, right? The letter challenge happens. They air out the business. They air out the business about the kiss that they had. Chris stands up for her. Good job. That's a man. That was very rude of Alandria to do that. Hypocrisy. Anyway, they talk about it. He's very kind to her. XYZ. She has a conversation with Shelly, and no accountability is taken. Chris decides after that challenge, basically, I'm just going to focus on Huda. He tells Shelly, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't exactly remember when the conversation about them not kissing showed up because, like, honestly, the season's kind of a blur. But, oh no, the baby challenge, right? Everybody else in the world can understand she misses her kid. She got PTSD. She's a single mother. She had to take care of her kid by herself. Her man was in the army when this happened. He cheated on her while she was pregnant. She did motherhood, the infant years by herself. Why is everybody else able to understand that, but not Chris? I'm not saying everybody else in the villa, but I mean IRL. People saying, I don't even like her, but like I can understand. I'm a mother, right? I don't think like she wasn't even mean or aggressive when she was communicating with him in that moment. And all she said was, don't tell me shut up. Because, first of all, I don't even let my man tell me to shut up. Because don't speak to me like that. If you like me, don't speak to me like that. Period. She tells him, don't tell me shut up. Cool. They have a conversation. She expresses to him why she was feeling this way. He wants to kiss her, and she's a little hesitant about it. They don't kiss. Fast forward, next day, he in the bathroom lying, talking about some. They're like, oh, she doesn't kiss you outside the challenge. He goes, fuck no. And Brian is like, because you told us the whole challenge y'all was fighting about. He goes, yeah, but that was so she does kiss you in challenge. Also, you just saw how they dogpiled her about kissing you. Why are you going around telling people that y'all had sex? She was obviously uncomfortable the several times that the whole them having sex conversation came up. Because anyway, we'll get to it, right? Brian says go talk to her. I don't know why another man needs to tell you to communicate. You were communicating fine prior to this. And this is where the problem starts, because when men don't get their way, their mask starts to fall. So he has a conversation with her. in front of everybody. Mind you, this is when the basketball thing happened. You're telling all the boys that y'all had sex and that you're upset that she won't kiss you, and they're telling you go talk to her. Why are you telling people that have obviously shown, mind you, you've seen the show prior to this, so you've seen how they've treated her. Why are you telling people that don't fuck with her business after they just got on her about kissing you? Next, why are you choosing to have this conversation knowing that she has an issue with privacy in front of everybody? She's like, why is everybody staring? And you're telling her not to worry about it, knowing everything that she's been through. She doesn't need to tell you what she's been through. You've seen what she's been through. You've seen how they've been treating her. And you choose to have this type of conversation in front of everybody so they can see her and laugh at her and judge her. A conversation about privacy. She tried. Okay, I understand why people are upset about, oh, she keeps interrupting him, but let me give y'all a different perspective, okay? Y'all notice how I kept bringing up how Huda addresses situations. She says, this is a situation, this is how it made me feel. Chris does not do that in this situation. First of all, he talks really slow and he talks in circles. So he kept repeating the same thing and saying absolutely nothing at all. But what he was saying it in an accusatory tone. If you're telling me how I feel and you're doing this and you're doing this and you always do XYZ, that would make anybody feel instantly misunderstood and defensive because it's like, hold on, I don't feel this way. That's not the case. Let me, like, and I understand that because I've always been put in those situations. You're this kind of person. You're embarrassed. You feel this way. And it's like, that's not how you communicate. He's not a good communicator just because he's calm and he speaks slowly. It's not how that works. He's very passive aggressive. And so anybody in that moment would feel like you're perceiving me the wrong way, so I need to say something. And I relate to that feeling a lot. And so we're going to fast forward a little bit to their date because she gets up and walks away. First of all, I also relate to that because I'm not going to get heated and upset knowing that everybody's watching me and I'm about to get emotional because you're purposely choosing to misunderstand me and not give me the space to say what I need to say. So I'm going to get up and walk away so I can calm down and we will resume this at another time. There's nothing manipulative, wrong, or bad about that. She needs to go calm down. And I agree because that is incredibly frustrating for somebody to be choosing to misunderstand you. Okay. So they have another conversation. He says, I don't get it. She says, I'm not embarrassed of you. I had a very messy relationship in here. Everybody judged me for it. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to move slowly. He's like, well, I don't get it. Fine. I don't get it. I don't want to keep talking about it. Okay. So from this moment on, we see him move different. You're acting different. If the world is saying that you're acting different and suddenly you don't like her, obviously she's going to feel the same way. And so I'm not going to break down the whole last day and the weird shit that he was doing that day, but I seen a bunch of men calling him a bitch. And I agree. I agree. He's weird. He is the red flag. He put all the emotional burden on her when it came to um them breaking up or choosing to not talk outside of this. And he once again, when they had the date or whatever, she says, this is how you made me feel. He says, okay, I didn't like how you did XYZ. Da 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 da. And she fights back, interjecting because he says, I already know how you feel, and da da da. And she's fighting back the instinct to interject because he's gonna get an attitude. Also, I forgot, before that he told her to shut up again. Not the same day, but previous episode after she already said, I don't like when you tell me to shut up. But anyway, he's weird. He's already, people are picking up that you don't really like her. The people are seeing it. She's feeling it. So I know she feels it. So she starts off the date. She's like, yeah, I feel like you got some animosity. They're addressing the issues. She addresses issues calmly. I feel like this. We had a great day. She asked, "Can I speak?" Valid. She goes, "We had a great day. It was a celebratory day. And lately, I feel like you are not physical with me. You don't cuddle me when we go to sleep. I wanted you to cuddle me because for me, it is important that the person I am with cuddles me." Simple. That was very straight to the point. Granted, I do not think she was right for how she handled it in the bedroom, and she was like, "I'll give you 3 seconds." Da, da, da. Fine, fine. But we're not gonna pretend like his actions prior to that isn't why she's reacting negatively. Because for me, if I have to keep telling you something and telling you something and telling you something, at some point I'm gonna feel like you just don't care. If I'm telling you previously, this is how I feel about the situation, and because you're not getting your way, your ego is hurt. You don't want to cuddle me in bed no more. You don't want to act like you like me no more. You don't want to treat me kindly. How a man acts when he gets rejected is everything about his character. Because she says, "I keep repeating myself," and he says, "I do too." But the only thing he keeps repeating himself about is the kissing. The way to handle the kissing situation is, let's find a compromise. How about we just work on being affectionate out in public? It doesn't have to be a kiss, but how would you feel about me, putting my arm around you in public, touching you around everybody else? Is that like that is the compromise? If she don't want to kiss you and make out with you in front of everybody, that's fine. Like, you're not explaining why that's such a deep issue, or so, like, she told you why it makes her uncomfortable and how she's trying to take it. Why wouldn't you try to find a compromise? Instead, you chose to treat her weird because you're not getting your way. And then you're telling her how she feels. That whole shit was weird, okay? The whole shit was weird because she's like, "I keep telling you I need you to be affectionate with me, and you have been weird these past few days." So at that point, it feels like she's begging for something that should be so normal for somebody that likes you. Because when it comes to Ace, from day one, even though he wasn't coupled up with Shelly, there was never a moment where people did not know that he liked Shelly. When somebody likes you, they like you. They go all out for you. He did everything in his power to let Shirley know you are the one, period. He did everything that he claimed Jeremiah was doing. He just did it in a different way. He never really explored. Never. Maybe with Coco, sure. We can say he explored with Coco, but to me, a couple conversations does not count as exploring. You was not kissing these people. You were very stuck, tunnel vision on Shelly. There was never a question that you were going to pick somebody over Shelly, and that is a man that really liked that woman. Chris was not acting when he didn't get his way. He stopped acting like he liked her, and for anybody, that is a problem. And so in that moment, she chose herself, and I'm so proud of her for choosing herself. Because I'm not gonna beg a man to do something that should be the bare minimum. You cuddling me in bed is regular. And him getting an attitude and getting pissy and not wanting to carry her back over the water. Like I said, how a man treats you when he gets rejected says everything. Because I've broken up with people and they still treated me with kindness after. Also, you going to the niggas that was talking about her this whole season and saying like, yeah, like she isn't the type of woman that I have confidence in marrying anyway. But 30 seconds ago she was. You were saying you wanted to work on it on the outside, and oh, I already know how you feel. Why wouldn't you just end it if you felt that way about her? It's giving the same energy as, "I didn't want you anyway, bitch." Like, you're a child. Because if you wanted to work on it and you saw something happening on the outside, what were you going to do? Waste her time if you already felt that way? Mm, interesting. Grown ass man, by the way. You kept reminding her you're a grown ass man. That's how you're acting. Oh, I'm not like, you could have ended it. You placed that burden on her and then chose to get mad at her because that's how you already felt about her, because she didn't want to kiss you in front of everybody. Mind you, it was not that serious. You easily could have just compromised with her about that. Knowing how these people, like, you witnessed them. If bro, if niggas who's not even cool with her come out the villa and say, yeah, everybody picked on her, how are you, the man that's right next to her every day, you see her cry every day, how are you not seeing that they're bullying her and how she wants to move different? Anyway, girl, I'm probably missing some stuff. I'm tired of talking about it. This season was god awful. Everybody's a hypocrite. I'm not saying she ain't do nothing wrong, but I'm not saying she was wrong either. The only thing I will say, um, is that this season was for the misunderstood girls. When it comes to Maya, love her to death. She was misunderstood as well. Ace made her feel like she was the problem. So moving forward, she took accountability with every other dude, and she asked them their boundaries. She should have caught them pussy ass bitches too, because why do you have everything to say to the boys? And you're telling her, no, I don't have any problem with you. I don't have a problem with anything you're doing. But to her, you, like, when you get in front of everybody, you want to change your mind. Like, it's weird. Okay. Huda and Amaya are two sides of the same coin. I don't think either of them were weaponizing their emotions. I just feel like they were two reactive women. But because Amaya is already, you know, a soft, she comes off as more soft and feminine, people let her get away with the same things Huda does while punishing Huda. I really don't like, I don't care how you try to break it down. It will never make sense as to why this woman is getting the hate that she's getting, because nothing she did has been even close to the things that have happened previous to this season, or she's not responsible for people sending death threats. Um, it just, none of this makes sense. It doesn't. One Palestinian woman is not responsible for the stuff that's happening to black women. I'm still like, even people that support Shelly and Alandria, them, I'm not blaming Shelly and Alandria for her fans either, because these are people who are saying they want Huda and her daughter to go get bombed. They're calling her terrorists. They're making a Huda hater. Um, was the person to make the George Floyd meme. Like, all these people have lost the fucking plot, and I don't understand why she's getting so much hate just for having a reaction. The same reaction that several other women on the show have had, just in a different way. Alandra called somebody a bitch as well. Amaya and Alandra yelled at somebody. So it's just like, nothing that she's done warrants all of this. That weird ass nigga on TikTok talking about he gonna email brands that want to work with her. Like, all of this is gone too far. All these people are weird. The season, I hope they cancel Love Island USA, because y'all don't know how to act. None of this is worth all of this. It's embarrassing. It is disgusting. The fact that they're calling CPS on people's children, it's really just disgusting. And I hope that she has a good support system and she sees a therapist after this. Also, none of these women on the show are mentally unstable. They don't have BPD. They don't got none of that. All these doctors have come on here and said, no, that's not what that is. She's not verbally abusive. That's not what abuse is. Calling somebody a bitch is not abuse. Um, she just has anxious attachment, and that's pretty obvious. Calling somebody a bitch is not abuse. Abuse is about control. She ain't controlling nobody. She's just saying, hey, this is how I feel. You're choosing to misunderstand me, and I'm getting frustrated. So these are my emotions. I'm not in the business of punishing women for having reactions. Um, Duck Lips being racist, and I'm not with the slut shaming either. All of them women did fuck somebody on the show except for Shelly and Alandria. Um, I don't care that they fuck somebody. Stay coochie. Um, all of this is just ridiculous. It is. And y'all need to, like I said, somebody needs to take y'all phones away. Y'all act like blaming these people for the stuff that they're supporters. First of all, the Huda haters have talked about Huda more than the fans have. Y'all spent more time talking about her than the people that y'all like. And so, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. I will be back possibly for the reunion in August. Um, I know a lot of shit is going to come out during these press tours or whatever. I'm so tired of talking about Love Island. I'm so tired of blocking people every day. I'm so tired of hearing about it. This show was absolutely draining. I've never hated a season of Love Island as much as I've hated this one. None of these people are good people. None of these people are good friends. I need Huda to wake up when she gets out of this villa and understand that those people are not her friends. Be cool with Amaya and Brian. That is it. The rest of the people can go to hell. Okay? Period. Anyways, subscribe to be along for the ride. If you listen to this whole rant, you'll get some money soon. As long as you're a good person, you'll get some money soon. I like to bless my followers. I like to send good energy your way. Don't be mean to people on the internet over TV shows, okay? That shit edited anyway. Yeah, my mic fully died, so I had to cut like a whole bunch of shit out. But basically before my mic cut out, I was just saying that the audience is holding these people to impossible standards, and they're like nitpicking every action to try to make one person right and one person wrong. And sometimes it's like it's okay for the person you don't like to be in the right, like with the whole Alandria and Taylor situation. And it's okay for both people to be wrong. Like the way Huda communicated with Chris at times was wrong, but his actions were wrong as well. So it's like everything is not two people versus each other. And also the lens that people are looking at this show through, they're acting like they don't have emotions themselves. Like, you would not act so robotically perfect in real life if you're in an emotional situation. Their reactions are very human. So I'm not understanding why you're expecting this woman to carry this burden. And then I thought about it, and it's like, it's because she's attractive. Like, attractive people are held to a different standard. They're expected to be a certain way, especially when it comes to women. Women are expected to be quiet and just take it and take it and take it. And every criticism I've seen of Huda this season was expecting her to be the bigger person or just take the abuse and take all of the drama that everybody's throwing at her. And I don't say abuse in the same way that you guys are saying abuse. Like, her having a reaction is abusive, and y'all, her having a reaction, both her and Amaya having emotional reactions, y'all are calling them crazy, and that's bullshit. But I'm saying abuse in terms of the internet. Like, everybody's dogpiling her, cyberbullying. Like, that's so weird. And like, y'all would not behave this the way that you expect her to behave. Like, you just simply wouldn't, because she's not a fucking robot. Nobody's a robot. And y'all's expectations are unrealistic. Y'all expect people to be perfect, and you can't even be perfect. It's also very telling that none of the men this season have even gotten half the amount of hate or racism that any of the women on this show have. Like, at all. When most of their reactions, the women's reactions, were the man's actions. And I've only seen men and maybe one or two women calling that behavior out. And I'm grateful for the men that are calling the men's behavior out. But I really don't see a lot of women clocking that. Instead, the women are dogpiling one person. Y'all know. I've seen this woman's name on the internet more than I've seen anybody else on this show. And it takes a whole bunch of men to say, why are we not looking at why she's acting this way? And then when a woman wants to talk about the misogyny, she gets jumped. You saying you want to email people not to work with her, you promoting hate on this one woman, and when this other woman She says, hey, this is misogyny. Y'all are making fan clubs for Jeremiah. It's just like, this whole season is hypocrisy, misogyny island. And I just don't think it's fair for any of the women on the show, except for Sierra, to have to bear the load of public perception, and none of the men are getting that. I mean, sure, people hate Ace, but they don't hate him as much as they hate Huda. Anyways, I also think it's bullshit that they brought Nick back. The only time I thought that was appropriate for them to bring somebody back is when they brought Bergie back. Because Bergie got him a girl, and they still together to this day. Nick should have went home. Period. As always, Nick and Sierra K. Fuck Chris too. Yeah. Go wash your ass, brush your teeth, make sure your tongue is brushed before you go in and talk shit about people, talking shit about their looks, talking shit about black people, talking shit about Palestinian people. All that shit not cute. And you know God gonna handle you because God don't like that ugly shit and that ugly behavior. Period. Bye.
Got ARPs and Glock jams, don't trip, it's plenty poles. Swing the back door, I'm the back end, bitch, I'm throwing foes. Shorty throwing foes, I'm throwing balls back out and overthrow.